Hey guys, so I wanted to take a quick minute to come on here today. I don't have a whole lot of time because I've got like a million real life things that I have to get done today. But I have been inundated with message requests, messages, comments, even my email is filling up with all these questions asking me, what is this supplement you're taking? What's this magic supplement you're taking? And so I wanted to take a minute to come on here just to address this because yesterday in my excitement over my legs being so little and itty bitty and being able to see so much of the definition and even in my calves and in the muscles and in my upper legs, in my thighs, I was so excited yesterday and I shared it, with everyone. And I honestly I wasn't expecting that it would trigger such a huge response. So I know I've shared a lot of this. A lot of this is just kind of be like repeat information for a lot of you, but there are a lot of you that I know are newer and may not know nor understand about the supplement that I'm taking. So what led me down this path and what made me decide I'm going to do this, I've got to do something, is I was struggling so badly with PMDD, perimenopause symptoms, the swelling that was occurring in my legs every month that my period would hit. And I was doing all of these things to try and combat all of that. But back in February, I had a PMDD episode leading up to my period that was literally so bad. I was at the point that I felt that I didn't even know how I could continue to live any longer. It truly, truly had gotten that bad. I was taking a nap every day after work. I couldn't even go to the gym unless I took a nap before I went to the gym. I was struggling greatly with getting out of bed in the morning. I mean, just the simple act of getting out of bed. And I am somebody who already prioritizes sleep. I eat really well. I exercise. I do all of those things. And yet still I was struggling so greatly. And so I started doing my research. I started trying to figure out, okay, what is the best route for me to take if I'm going to go, and finally get on a supplement? Because if you guys have followed me for a while, you understand and know that I've always said like, nope, no supplements. I don't need supplements. And I didn't for the longest time. I really, truly, I did not need to supplement. But I'm almost 40 now. And, I've been through a lot in my life. I've had many really, really incredibly traumatic and stressful, events in my life that have really, really altered my body and taken its toll on me. And when I did it because I was just simply hoping that I would start to feel better. I was hoping my energy levels would get better. I was hoping that I'd see some differences in my joints, which is why I did the activated collagen. So when I started this, it wasn't something that I was like, man, I really hope that this is going to help my lipedema. I really did hope that it would help in firming the skin on my legs, just because of the lipedema, because of the fact that I've lost 170 pounds. I've put my body through a lot. And so that was the reason that I decided to go with an activated collagen. This collagen is the only collagen that is available on the market that has been scientifically proven to get your body producing its own natural collagen again. So that was the reason that I opted to go with this particular collagen. But I also knew that the cellular activator in combination with the collagen would be the best route for me to go if I wanted to see the fastest results. And so everybody loves to talk about fast results. It's like one of those things in marketing. People are like, oh, you're going to get the fastest results. But I did a lot of my own research here. And what I learned when I was doing all of my own research on this is that superoxide dismutase, that is the antioxidant gene that we have in our body, we are turning that on, okay? And so what happens is the collagen, the activated collagen, is turning that SOD gene on by 2,700%. And the cellular activator is turning it on by 40%. So when the two of these are combined, it's huge. It's working so much faster to get into your system and lower that and in turn then reducing oxidative stress. So I didn't have a lot of time today to really sit here and put something together. I'd love to put a PowerPoint together, but I got a lot of kids. I don't have time for it. So I found this here and I wanted to read this because this, I think, really will kind of put it into perspective and help it make a little bit more sense. So this says here, we are now facing an increased disease epidemic with chronic diseases such as diabetes, autoimmune conditions, arthritis, asthma, irritable bowel syndrome, osteoporosis, obesity, heart disease, cancer, Alzheimer's, etc. People are sicker today with chronic conditions than ever before. The death and disease incident rates over the last century have significantly changed from infectious to chronic. Most chronic diseases stem from cellular and systematic inflammation. So inflammation goes chronic when there is a persistent stimulus. And so with all of that, inflammation upsets the delicate balance among all of the major systems. So we've got endocrine, central nervous, digestive, cardiovascular, and respiratory. Now in a healthy body, these systems, they all talk to each other. They all communicate with one another. But with chronic inflammation, which is something that those of us with lipedema have, that communication, it becomes distorted. So cellular inflammation is now initiating the cause of chronic disease because it disrupts hormonal signaling. We also know that lipedema has a lot to do with hormones. And so that signaling networks throughout the body, but it becomes so disrupted that it really cannot function nor work correctly any longer because that defense system, it becomes so overwhelmed and confused, it literally doesn't know the difference between the invader. So then what happens? Autoimmune issues begin to develop as the immune system then begins to attack its own tissues. So with that said, signs and symptoms of inflammation include swelling, muscle and joint pain, fatigue, redness, stiffness, immobility, depression, brain fog, anxiety, neuropathy, and diabetes also. So with all of that said, you can see here why this has worked for me and why I am seeing such a major decrease in my inflammation because I have turned on those cellular pathways and now they are working so much more efficiently that my body is now beginning to reduce so much of that inflammation. Now, I want to be very transparent when I say it was not until week 4 that I really began to notice those changes. And so the reason that I even began to notice it in the first place was because I started taking the supplement right after my period ended. So I was on this supplement for almost a month before I was heading into my second month. And so I was waiting for like the horrible PMDD to kick in. I was waiting for all of my swelling to kick in. And then I made it through to my period and I had no PMDD. And you guys, it was tough. I had a child who, my 12-year-old son, he's 140 pounds, broke his leg. I'm the only parent here. There's nobody else. So here I am. I'm having to deal with a child who's broken his leg. I had just gotten back from being out of town. I was already so behind at work. And now I'm dealing with a child who's got to have surgery. My period is coming, which usually throws my body into a fit of just completely just shutting down. But it didn't happen for me. And so then I was waiting for the swelling. I'm like, I know it's coming every month. I always know when my period's gonna hit because my lymphatic system just shuts down. I stop peeing, and then usually it's about like 10 days after my period that all of a sudden I just start peeing like crazy. But I didn't have any swelling. I had no swelling whatsoever. So in that 4th week, I started noticing, wait a minute, my legs have not swelled. And then I'm sitting there and I'm waiting every day. I'm like, it's coming. No, instead, I just kept losing it. And it just kept falling off. And I was like, what in the world is happening here? Because honestly, this was not anything that I really truly expected. But when you understand the science of it, it makes all the sense in the world why this is now happening with my body. So this is not just something that, might be good for somebody who has lipedema. This is something that is good for people who have all of these different all of this, you know, the itises and the autoimmune conditions, IBS, osteoporosis, all the different types of arthritis that is out there. There's just so many different conditions and diseases that this particular combination is so incredible for, because it is literally improving and restoring your cellular health. And cellular health is where everything begins in our bodies. Everything starts with our cellular health. So I just wanted to come on here real quick to briefly describe a little bit of what's happening in my body, why I am noticing such significant changes in my inflammation. But not even just that, like, I'm glowing. My body, you can just tell, like, my face, it looks so much healthier. My eye bags have improved so much. And my energy levels have increased by like 20 million. I even was telling a friend of mine the other day, I cut my grass on Tuesday. Like, on my lunch break, I went in my front yard, I cut my grass, and then when my day was over at 5 o'clock when I got off of work, I went in the backyard, I cut my grass, and I came in and I made dinner for the kids, and I went to the gym and I had a really good workout. And then I came home that night and I'm like, who is this woman? Like, what? You know, because back in February and all those previous months, I was just, every day, my body was just wearing down more and more and more, and it wasn't working for me. But now I'm at a point that I genuinely, truly feel like my body is working for me. My depression has been non-existent. My anxiety has been so much better. I am sleeping much better, with the exception of the fact that I am waking up to pee constantly. And that's just because of lowering and reducing the inflammation. So I really hope that this helps you guys.